and found hanging from a tree. Investigation underway. Put it up full mast. This happened in North Georgia. Georgia Bureau of Investigation, GBI, is still waiting on the autopsy results for 29-year-old Trevonte Shubert-Helton. Mr. Helton, whose body was found hanging from a tree last week in North Georgia, is a hiker, found the body on the trail not far from High Shoals Falls in the Swallow Creek Wildlife Management Area. This took place on the 21st of this month after the hiker reported the discovery to the town's county sheriff. Local authorities, as well as the Georgia Natural Department of Resources, called the GBI to assist in the investigation. In a press release, GBI investigators stated that Mr. Helton's death appears to be an isolated incident based on a preliminary investigation. State authorities also said Mr. Helton was by himself at the wildlife management area. GBI spokesperson Kimberly Williams told Atlanta Black Star that state authorities were requested to investigate Mr. Helton's death since his body was found on state property. Williams stated no additional information was available to release at this time, but said the autopsy report is pending completion. The investigation remains ongoing. Until Helton's investigation is completed, there is no way to truly know. But what we do know is Georgia has a rich history of lynching Black folks in the state. According to the New Georgia Encyclopedia, Georgia has a total of 458 reported lynchings, only exceeded by Mississippi, 538. During the 1880s and 1890s, instances of lethal mob violence increased steadily, peaking in 1899, when 27 Georgians fell victim to lynch mobs. Between 1890 and 1900, Georgia averaged more than one mob killing per month. Now, I want you to understand a mob killing. These are citizens typically, sometimes sprinkled with members of law enforcement, and they just simply kill somebody. And they go home and they eat dinner. Okay, so understand the context of a mob lynching or mob killing, all right? The frequency of mob violence declined somewhat in the first decade of the 20th century, but by 9/11, lynch mobs were active again, killing 19 Georgians. Of the Georgians who were victims of the lynch mobs, 95% were Black. But Georgia's lynch violence was almost always perpetuated by white mobs looking to kill Black men. And the 5% who were not Black were supporting Black people, okay? All right, now, Jordan, this is a hell of a thing. And actually, we've reported on stories like this before out of Georgia where no conclusion was found except for the fact that a Black man was hanging from a tree. This is not the first time. This is probably one of the most national, but this is not the first time in the last 5 years this has happened in Georgia. What say you?
It's tragic. It's absolutely horrific. You know, as you wait for details, it's weird. It's you hope it's not a lynching, but then would it be a suicide? It's kind of like you're in a really difficult situation as you try to parse this story. But no matter what, the outcome is tragic. So I feel terrible for his family and his loved ones. I hope they could find solace or, God forbid, justice soon. But this is heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. It's just very, very young, and you hate to see that.
We're going to stay on top of it. We want answers just like everyone else.